We're here with Todd Schultz, my co-host Jason Pittman. Todd, let's talk a little bit about your show. First of all, thanks for having us. Man, you sure you want us here?
I do.
I mean, it's publicity, but it might not be good publicity.
Kind of ruins my reputation a little bit.
Yeah,
I might improve it.
I'm more concerned where all the trolling motors went, because I come by here a lot because I tear stuff up. Let's just be honest. Hey, yeah. So I tear a lot of stuff up, and I guess about 3 weeks ago, I managed to break 2 trolling motors in 2 days. Wow. Yeah. No, not a lot of people can do that.
No.
You put it in a bass fisherman. Yeah. You put a bass fisherman in, and
was any of that tournament related?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Because I mean, I couldn't see the stumps under the water, so every prop shaft just kind of been under it. But Todd took care of me. But he's done a great job with the shop. So he stays busy. That's for sure.
That's good. That's good.
I say Mr. Jason's a good customer.
The more aggressive, the better the customer.
Oh yes, definitely.
Todd, what do you usually repair? I mean, what do you repair? What, would you do any electrical work, or you just stick with trolling motors?
Well, I'm a factory authorized repair center for Minn Kota, power pole, and motor guide. We also install marine electronics, any kind of boat wiring, radios, LED lighting, trolling motors, of course. That's the bread and butter of my business, what I'm known for. But pretty much anything that you can buy and install on a boat, we can take care of.
You can pay with bread and butter?
It depends how good the bread and butter is. There's going to be some awful good peanut butter jelly.
Yeah, like a truckload.
So how do we find the place, Todd?
Well, I'm located, my physical address is 1350 Orleans Street in Mandeville, behind Gator Power Sports. You can look me up online, pretty much all the different online outlets, and that's where I'm at.
And you can also find them on NorthShoreFishingReport.com. Every once in a while posting a report. I see you try to tangle with the causeway every once in a while, but I think you got smart and laid off of it for a while.
Yeah, the causeway, she's been a fickle mistress. One day she'll be the best thing you've ever experienced, and the next day she'll send you home crying and rethinking your thought process.
It's kind of like golf when you hit that perfect shot, just
followed up by a worm burner.
Catch a 20-inch speckled trout. You want to keep fishing.
Yeah.
But we're going to talk a little bit more about the causeway. We have Captain Andy Jones and Mr. Bill Bowdy. He's here. He had a good trip off the causeway, caught a mess of redfish in this muddy water too. So
like on that same causeway?
That 24 mile.
Yeah. Okay.
That 24 mile.
I'm gonna start. Pretty soon I'm going to drop brush piles on it. We're catching bass and sockeye. I'll get Ray Miller out there and tell him there's one out there and he'll go catch it. Yeah, definitely.
That would. That would.
So we're going to get into the show right now. Todd, thanks for having us aboard.
All right, not a problem. Anytime.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
And Jason, like we were saying, the spillway, it just wreaks havoc here on the North Shore. North Shore saltwater fishing is not the easiest thing, but I will defend that it is the biggest speckled trout I've ever caught is off the causeway, off the reef in Bayou Lacombe, off the Bayou Lacombe, and off the trestle. So you really get spoiled with the trout you can catch here.
Absolutely. I guess it was, it had to have been 07, 06, 07, 08. They all kind of ran together for me. But I did the same thing when I was out there in a bass boat when in its heyday. The causeway was in its heyday, and we were actually we had just come back from a tournament, maybe like in Table Rock, and I had some big jerk baits that would go down like 8-10 foot that we were catching smallmouths on. And I had one in the rod box, took it out, and actually caught the biggest speckled trout I ever caught on the bridge. Right there, I guess it was around that 12-mile turnaround or whatever they call it. I say 12, it may be, I don't even know which one it is. The circle under that had washed out for Katrina, and I think it weighed right at 7.3. So I mean that was a monster, but it was a good day when you went out there and caught 10 4-pounders, and then people started complaining that they weren't catching 25, and the bass fishermen, I'm just like, hey, I did good. So I don't know anything about limits.
Absolutely, but I looked at the MODIS map that's put out by NASA, and what an incredible feature it has to zoom in and just see literally where the clean water is. I looked at it last night. I couldn't find it.
No.
But that's not to say they're not catching fish. We have Mr. Bill Bowdy here. He made a trip. We're going to have him on. Mr. Bill?
Come on up, Mr. Bill.
This guy, man, if you go and look at the causeway reports, it's pretty rough. And then Mr. Bill posts, how many fish did you end up with?
Well, I took home 5, that's the limit.
Right.
But,
Good answer. Good
Officially.
Good answer.
we had 7 reds. They were 15 inches to 17 inches. The first fish we caught at that spot was about a 6-pound Gasper Goose.
Oh,
Okay.
You know.
you gotta use a lot of butter with those.
I gave it to a fellow in a flatboat who wasn't catching anything.
There you go. There you go.
But they all came on a matrix lemon head.
Okay.
About I think I was using a 3/8 ounce head. You know. So, and they were. I actually spent the first 3 hours trolling with no success. I pulled mirror and some of my mirrors had a little trailer on it. But you're reminding me that 7-pound trout you caught back in 08. I had a 6-pound 2-ounce trout.
Oh, those are good trout.
On the
causeway.
And he had a little silver spoon. And it was that was my biggest trout.
Casting or trolling?
It was casting.
Casting.
I was casting that.
Yeah, something like when a trout gets over 4 pounds and he hits, you know he's over 4 pounds.
You know he's there, yeah, so.
But your first thought is, oh, redfish, and then you feel the head shake.
Or actually, in freshwater cats, they bite out.
Yes.
Yes. Back in the last 2 years have been really tough for me. I think since they closed the Mr. Go, completely changed the circulatory system.
Yeah.
However, I will say that I think when they open the spillway, it actually improves our chances on the North Shore.
Absolutely. It
Because
pins the water.
drives that salt water
Yep.
to the north side of the lake. So
And when you talk about that, man, you're getting awfully technical, specific. But if you play the game right, I know we have somebody here who does play that game right.
I brought my notebook. I'm gonna learn
recording this.
Yeah, I'm gonna learn something tonight.
It was a great trip. That was the most fun. I caught all those fish probably from 9:15 to 9:45, about a half an hour, just bang, bang, bang.
Trolling and jigging, or you located one
I
spot?
located one spot.
Where was that spot?
Yeah, I'm gonna need that pilot number.
About 16 miles out.
It had some digits on it.
Mile 25.
Mile 26.3.
Yeah.
Mile 26.3.
Well, that's great. Knows the Matrix, the Lemonhead. That's a popular one in that murky water because it's just bright and bold.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, bright and bold. Yeah. And they have real pretty blue tails. You know.
Okay.
So you can see that in the picture. If you blow the picture up that I put on your website, you can see how blue those tails are, which means they're very active.
Active
feeding,
fish,
you know.
definitely.
And they fought. I mean, they really fought. It was great fun.
That's good. It was good to see.
I'm glad somebody, something's
see
still
something
living.
taken off of there.
Right.
But, we're gonna bring in Captain Andy.
Okay.
Get Andy to talk a little bit about what he's seeing.
Yay! I heard Andy's giving away a trip to me tonight.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he doesn't know it yet though. Yeah. Come on in, my new friend.
There we go.
he's giving he doesn't even know it, but we really appreciate you donating a trip to me. It's all about the kids. It's for the kids.
It's all about the kids.
Yeah.
That's right.
Captain Andy, Wicked Charters out of Mandeville. First of all, talk a little bit about what you're seeing around here. I know it's a tough game playing the North Shore saltwater fishing game right now. The worst of it looks to be over with. And we'll talk a little bit about the redfish because I have some ideas about what's going on with the redfish.
I got some recipes.
You got some recipes, I got some ideas. You got the fishing pole. So together we can come in and build something.
And we're going to go find Bill's spot.
He told me mile marker 26. I think he's lying.
Well, what are you seeing out there, Andy?
You know, it's funny with what Bill's saying, and mostly we're seeing a lot of redfish. A couple of weeks back, we had a real good report of the trout. Then we got that front. It was like the trout were turning on. It looked like we were going to have a run. They wanted to go. We had a couple of days of great fishing out there. I think Justin Bowles, knocked the spots off them, and then the front came. And Mother Nature has done that to us all year.
She's been bipolar this year.
She has been bipolar.
She offered meds.
Yep, that's for sure. So we got muddy water. Yep.
So the theory of when you take that whole area of Lake Pontchartrain and you muddy up maybe 3/4 of it, those fish will go into that cleaner water and catch more in that cleaner water than what you would normally do, just because they're not in that muddy water, they're in clean water. Does that hold any water? Water.
Just what Bill was saying is very true, and I've experienced it for years. Every time we have that spillway opening, that's been what's happened. I've fished this side of the North Shore, and those fish seem to get pushed over, and we knock the spots off them. When they're there and they're stacked up like that, we get them trolling. This year, of course, you know my insanity, checking, looking, picking up one or two, boom, 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 and I'm thinking, man, is this thing, we're getting some fish, and you remember the shock, and we actually did a little video, which was semi-productive, but we got out there,
just to catch
we hadn't seen the fish really in a couple of years, so, and then it goes and then the front, but I think there's a lot of truth in what Bill said with that water pushing those fish over, and that's why we get that little burst.
Definitely.
Talk a little bit about the redfish bite, which was, I don't think we'll ever see that again, as far as the size of those redfish. At 15 and a half, it seemed like. Just one after the other. That alone will make you insane, catching 15
You
and a
could
half.
burn some live shrimp. When that was happening, you could burn through 100 live shrimp like
And
this.
I'm thinking this year is going to be this time right now. What Bill's saying, those fish apparently haven't left, because I'm hearing good catches out there, and we're catching redfish almost all the time now. So, and you're seeing the reports. It's redfish. Your trout reports are down, but the redfish are definitely in. And the sizes are inching up. Yep, last year we had 4 trips, 200 fish, 200 redfish, and we couldn't keep one. Couldn't keep one.
I mean, how do you explain that?
Yeah, it was a phenomenal bite. The trips were
That will
fantastic.
make you insane. I mean,
The action was
When
honey,
you said,
I'm catching fish.
but you didn't bring anything home.
That close.
Right.
And bring a mallet, a hammer.
This year they're
Break their
17,
back.
17 inches, 17, 18
So we're
inches. And
seeing,
they're perfect eaters, and we had a trip today and caught a couple of those, and beautiful.
Good. And we saw the same thing with the bass, like on the Pearl River. We saw the bass 3 years ago. We were catching tons of 10 to 12 inch fish, and now you're looking at 13 to 14 inch fish. So without a storm, I mean, minus the openings and stuff like that, I mean, everything's healthy. It's just got to stabilize for sure.
Right.
Yeah. So we're definitely seeing the redfish. Let me tell you, redfish, that's a totally different beast than a speckled trout, because you could tell if they're in that lake right now. I've seen that water, and they're eating right now. That just goes to show you.
You let it clear up, and you're going to get your arm hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna have some poles, and people are having. You're seeing the posts. There's a lot of people catching redfish right now.
And summer is typically a great time to fish that causeway. Now they don't last the whole summer. They'll come in spurts. But when we see them on that causeway, it's just like speckled trout fishing. You're trolling and you're jigging, and bam, So this summer, I'm really thinking that causeway is going to take off as far as the redfish.
Elena says,
I'll be letting you know.
Elena says, hey, on Facebook Live. I'm not getting into, I don't want to know who she is, just in case.
I was here.
Oh, it was one of those. Yeah, I promise I'm going. I understand.
I love you.
Good answer. But yeah, I mean, once that lake clears up, I mean, even the yackers are going out of Lacombe, launching right there, and either if the weather permitting, launching at the end of Lacombe or up at the actual launch there on Lake Road, and put a little paddling effort into it and go catch your 5. There's fish to be had, bass and redfish.
All the way up to the Trussels,
right?
And even beyond. But and they've got Bayou Liberty. I mean, we've got all those great little launch points. And
and during duck season, I was actually entering Big Branch through the lake, off of Lake Road, and seeing the mats of grass that were growing in December and January. So here, once it clears up, I think there'll be a topwater bite for the reds and the speckled trout on the grass line like usual.
Well, check the Hydro Coast map. I love the Hydro Coast map. That kind of.
Yeah.
I've given up on
Point
it.
2. Listen to this though. Point 2 at the trestles. That's not good for the trestles. That's point 4, Lake Catherine. Now this is from April 16th to 22. They don't monitor it once a month. So this is our closest.
That was a lot of West Pearl water dumping, and then the high tide when they hit the you know, pushing
But
in.
listen to this, the mouth of Bayou Biloxi, 4.0. That's not good for that area.
Right.
I mean, it'll sustain
Right.
speckled trout and redfish, but when you go across Lake Bourne and start getting, 4.0 right there,
Right.
that's bad.
There was a lot of fresh water come in though. I mean, you got to figure the whole North Shore drains,
Mhm.
so it's got to go somewhere. So, odds are it's passing those checkpoints, and people are starting to understand it for sure.
Yep, getting a lesson.
Other thing that I hate to mention it, but HB 391 failed 38 to 57. That's just going to be an uphill battle, but at least they were able to put that.
I'm not going to call anybody out by no means, but I did see you posted on the website how people voted,
Mhm.
and even those that weren't there. So if somebody wants to check that out,
Oh, yeah.
we're not going to name drop in here or anything, but
It's on the website.
It kind of makes you wonder why we elected some of them
Yeah.
if they're not showing up to even vote for us or
Yeah.
against us. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah. So all we can hope for now is just to keep, the majority of our water the same. I was watching another station and it came on, and right out the bat it was framed as a bill to allow fishermen to run across private water is being passed. I mean, wait, when did that happen? This is a bill to stop us from losing water that we've always been fishing on.
Right.
But just the setup of that tells me, geez, it's just politics.
It's an uphill battle for
Somebody
sure.
gave a call and say, well, this is what that bill's about.
Right.
They want to run across our private water, which I still can't get over. Private
if I can
water.
float it, I can boat it. That's
Yeah, exactly.
write me the
Amen.
ticket. I mean,
Amen.
it's Representative Kevin Pearson out of Slidell did a great job with
Yeah.
that. There was a lot of spearheaded, had a lot of the youth that fish the Bassmaster stuff really get involved, and the Louisiana Sportsman's Coalition has done a great job too. They've rallied the troops. You've had Mr. Darrell with Real
Carpenter,
Screamers.
yeah.
They've
Yeah. He's a great rallier.
Yes, give him a mic and just walk away.
Torches and pitchforks.
Yes, and that whole Charter Boat Association's done well too. Funneling the money to where it needs to go in order to get this in. But we haven't seen the end of it. It's going to get tweaked, and we've got a seat at the table now for the sportsmen and with the coalition and those guys that are still rallying the troops as far as getting some funding and stuff like that. So I think it's
Definitely not over.
the ice has been broken.
Yeah.
We can just say that.
People are becoming aware.
Definitely,
People are
definitely.
becoming aware.
All right, we're going to move into, let's talk a little sockeye. We don't have any sockeye fishermen here.
I'm a
wonder
sockeye eater. I'm an eater. Does that count if I eat them?
Another recipe. Huh?
Yeah, I need that.
But boy, John Gilliat over on the East Pearl, I talked to him. 4 out of 5 trips, he had limits of sockeye.
My phone never rings when they go. I don't.
I
You're too busy. No, you got stuff to do.
It's only his last trip.
Have you seen that shaft in the garbage over there?
So 4 out of 5 trips, he limits that. He told me when I talked to him today, I only caught 28.
Oh,
I'm
I hate
like,
that
yeah,
for
give me
him.
a
Yeah,
catch,
yeah. Let me get him some tissue.
So the sockeye bite is definitely on.
I can vouch for that because Lock One Canal, I caught 3 yesterday. No, Sunday. Yes. Hey,
Well, the thing with
don't be
Lock
stalking
One, it's
me.
always clean. I mean,
Yes,
it's so
yes.
stable. You can just escape the muddy water. Just
Oh,
go to
yeah.
Lock One.
I'd love to catch 3 of anything Sunday.
We're gonna get to that in just a minute.
This-
I got a good
that's been the
story.
year- that's how this whole season's
Yeah.
been. Three of anything's a good limit these days.
You almost feel sometimes after those charter trips, you turn your head. Can you?
That's it, Uncle.
Now,
Twisted arms.
I'm sure y'all heard of Ray Miller. He's the sockeye guy off the Chafuncta River, and you know that Chafuncta is dirty when his last 2 reports, he's not fishing in the
He's
Chafuncta.
gone.
Yeah.
He's gone.
Well, there's a reason
Yeah.
for that because
Yes.
he doesn't
Yes.
even need to state where he fishes.
Right.
Usually, it's just I'm fishing in the
we know.
Chafuncta.
Yeah, we know he's on the Chafuncta, and then he's gonna throw something like, "I'm at the Tickfall."
Yeah, what are you doing over there?
Is that a river?
What is wrong with the Chafuncta?
Yeah. Did you lose a bet?
He did good though on a tick fall, and then White Kitchen. What about this area? These are going
Okay,
towards
moving
the
on.
Wrigley's?
Yeah, moving on.
I don't know anything
No,
about White Kitchen.
White
But
Kitchen-
3 to 4 last reports on North Shore Fish Report, White Kitchen.
Yeah, there's that's one of the Katrina Ponds.
Okay.
I think it's Fremo tees up, or 190 tees up with Highway 90.
Okay.
And that's just, I don't want to call Mr. Ray old, but the old timers call it White Kitchen area because there used to be like
Seasoned veterans.
Okay, yeah, that's what we'll go with. Yeah. What am I doing? So, but those guys have pretty much named that White Kitchen. There's a Katrina pond with an eagle's nest in it that they built a boardwalk. Somebody did. I don't know who did it, but there's a boat launch right there. The Yackers love it.
Yeah.
But you can also get a big boat in there as well, and the brown
yeah.
bed up
Oh, yeah.
and everything. I've seen some of his reports, and Mr. Ray got him some of that technology on his boat where he's got some side scan and stuff, and you can actually see like the brim beds and stuff like that, and he'll spend a little bit of time scanning and then go to cleaning them off. So he scans, cleans, and then cleans
homework
again.
pays off.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So White Kitchen really coming on strong lately with the perch. George Nunez of Slidell pulled on the side of the road at White Kitchen, caught a few bass. Big bass, actually. That's on North Shore. That's fishingreport.com. That's stuff on the forum under, I think you put it on the pond section. Yeah, that's kind of a weird area because does it let out actually into the, does it break through the marsh into the?
It trickles through.
Okay.
It trickles through on a couple different sides.
Okay.
But as far as, you can't access it only through the boat launch there.
Okay. Well, we're going to move on. Thanks so much, Andy.
Yep, looking forward to my trip you donated to me. Thanks.
Got it. Get that good water and let's go do it.
No doubt, no doubt. That we definitely need.
But we're going to have Chris Basie on. Now, next half hour, we have the tournament section of our show. So we're going to have Chris on then, but we're going to have Chris on here because we're going to try to divide this up. What we're going to try to do here is we're not going to get into any tournament talk. So what do you call it, Jason? Fun fishing?
Fun fishing.
Can you tournament guys make the jump to fun fishing?
Nope, I'm out.
No.
Have a good night.
You're programmed to tournament fish, huh?
Yep, I'm programmed to not tell a lot.
It's funny you mention that because I was thinking about this for tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, my plan is to hit your funky for just a little bit more, just to try a few spots. I'm looking at me stupid. I'm gonna try just to make sure my fish are still there. If they're still there, I don't know. You probably fished them
I
already.
stuck everyone on you. Just hey.
So after that, I'm headed to probably buy Fuka or something because I need my confidence back. I need to stick a few.
So again, not talking tournament. Let's just talk about where we can catch a few bass on the North Shore right now. Where would you go? What would you throw?
Toledo Bend. Well, it's north. It's north. It's north.
Little 11, 12 inches. Fry them up.
I'd say if you want something easy, the bayous.
Yes.
They're pretty much done with the spawn.
Any of them. Any of them.
They're headed more towards the summertime pattern already.
Lower Pearl all the way to Lower Chifuncta. I mean, I don't think, especially get you a good tide chart or a good tide app, and when it starts doing that, when it turns and goes south, you better be in those drains because there are tons of fish to catch.
Drains, yeah. And summer's coming, and those drains are only going to get better.
Yeah.
Just something about that different colored water or different, even a different temperature
Right.
coming out of that marsh, that really triggers those bass.
And they've spawned, they've done their thing. There's still a few up garden, like the fry and stuff like that. They're far and few between. This last full moon we had, last weekend actually. Last weekend. It's done. There may be a straggler or two.
I saw a male on lock one that was going back and forth, but he would not hit anything.
He was patrolling, and that's all they're doing. They've got their little balls of fry that they're trying to protect, and But yeah, if you're going, I mean, Chris can vouch for this. Early morning, topwater bait in the drains, you're gonna catch something. You're not gonna. I don't want to say win a tournament because we're not talking about tournaments.
Right, you can't talk about tournaments. This is just relaxing.
Not bad.
Normal people.
I'm stressed. I'm sweating because I had to talk about a tournament for some reason.
I need a 12 incher.
Yeah. Oh no, I've been on Toledo. I need a 4-pounder.
Yeah, getting spoiled.
Yeah, getting my head kicked in.
So what we're talking early mornings now. It's not quite the summer routine, although the forecast for next week is heating up. So we're gonna have to change our routine. We're gonna have to get out just a little bit earlier, take advantage of that cool, the cool part of the day would be the morning. And you can use this heat to actually improve your trip because those fish are like us. When it gets real hot, they shut down. So they know it's time to go in the morning. So they're
Right.
real active.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about Kentucky bass, guys.
Spot.
The different little spotted bass. What's the difference in them, and where, you know, we see them here and there on posts on NorthShoreFishReport.com. A lot of people don't even, they just chalk them up as bass, largemouth
that's a bass.
Yeah, but you'll see them. I think Lawrence Lemoyne texted me a picture, caught a bunch of them. I think Todd Ullman was in the upper Chafunctor. He says
Yes.
the water's a little cleaner up there, and he caught a few spotted bass too. Spotted bass, more aggressive than a largemouth?
Absolutely.
Way more.
Absolutely.
They school more. They pack, being packed more.
Yeah, it's a wolf pack fish, no doubt. This past Sunday for the Liars and Lunkers tournament, Trenton and Chase had one that was, I think it was like a 239.
Spotopotamus.
Yeah, a spotopotamus. I mean, that's what it is. Anytime you get a Kentucky over, a pound and a half, that's a tank. Because I mean, they won't get long. They just swell up.
Fat.
And I mean, I've had some 13 to 15 pound limits of them out of like the state, Missouri, where they're predominant and easier to catch. But down here, I know one of the videos that we did a couple of years ago that we posted was on the Bogachita, and there was a lot of spotted bass caught in that video when I was doing buzzbait fishing up there. Caught one big largemouth, and I think everything else was just spotted
It's like the
bass.
sandier the area, the more
Definitely,
plentiful, huh?
definitely. They're an ambush predator. There's no doubt. They need some moving water, sand and stuff like that,
A little bit
and you
clear.
can catch
They
them.
prefer a
Right.
little bit clearer water, but you do catch them on pearl too.
Oh yes.
Talk a little bit about the differentiation of a spotted bass or a largemouth bass. How can you tell?
Lighter color, smaller mouth, a bit smaller of a mouth on them. They have a patch on the tongue, but some largemouth also have that patch of teeth on their tongue. But pretty much just a lighter color.
The
Main
lateral
difference
lines,
of that
yeah,
line
yeah,
is
the-
splotchy
the-
instead of
their-
consistent.
their upper line towards their lateral fin has some splotches in it, but they also have some lateral lines
Right.
that are pretty predominant below, like closer to their belly. So it's
Any
they're
difference
easy.
in the eyes? Now, do you notice?
I think some of them may have like a reddish tint to
Yeah.
them, but a lot of times too,
More reddish, yeah.
you can see their jaw doesn't extend. Like when you close their mouth, their jaw lines up just with their eye. And a largemouth, it actually goes past their eye. So that's some of that useless knowledge that I stored.
There is a difference too in the back fin, but I don't remember what it is
Yeah,
when I'm separating.
that's
my
technical.
eye.
We're gonna have to get somebody else.
But thanks so much, Chris, for coming on. We're going to have you back on the next tournament show in a few minutes. But we're here at Dixie Trolling Motor. If you're around, come on, stop by. Give us a shout out on Facebook Live. Well, we're going to close out the show, Jason. We're going to go right into the Tournament Talk TV, and then that's right up your alley.
Yeah, I can talk tournament
fishing.
stuff.
Right, and you can talk about all the spots you fish.
Yeah, no, probably not. We'll talk about where we fish, not at the spot.
Thanks, Todd. Thanks, Andy, everybody, for sticking out live. We're going to stick around. We're going to go right into the NBS Tournament Talk TV.